Hello, writers! It has been a minute since I made a video for this channel. I've been actually kind of busy working on a new channel that I created, talking about some nerdy pen stuff, talking about the tools I actually use as a writer. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll put a link in the description. But I thought it would be good today, since MFA application deadlines are looming off in the distance, I thought it would be good to make a video about the top mistakes I've seen people make in their MFA applications. And this isn't going to be some kind of exhaustive list of all the mistakes, just a few main ones I've noticed people make. I've been working with writers on Fiverr, trying to get their MFA applications put together so that they can succeed and get into a good school. And so these are some of the things that I've noticed as I've worked with writers. And so hopefully this can help you as you're getting your cover letter or personal statement put together and your writing sample and you're doing research and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about a few of these mistakes that I've noticed. If you want more information about MFA programs, I'd encourage you to check out my other videos. And if you would like some help getting ready for your MFA applications, then I'll put a link to my Fiverr as well, where you can find me and we can work together. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first mistake that I've seen is people applying to MFA programs in English when they are not a fluent English writer. I want to be clear here. If you are an ESL person, if English is your second language and you want to do an MFA in English, that's amazing. That is way beyond what I would be able to do. I could never do an MFA in Spanish or Russian or Chinese or any other language. Like, English is all I've got. So if you are bilingual and you want to come to the States and do an MFA in English, that's amazing. Just keep in mind, though, that before you write novels and short stories and poetry for an English-speaking audience, you need to know how English works. You have to have a pretty good handle on the mechanics of English, and you have to be able to put a sentence together correctly. You have to have a good vocabulary, all that kind of stuff. If you're not there yet, that's okay. Keep working on it. You'll get there. But don't apply to MFA programs thinking that you can succeed in an MFA program, in a master's program in English, when you struggle with the basics of English writing. Because more than likely, not only will you be writing a lot of English in an MFA program, but you will probably also be teaching or tutoring English as well. So you need to be able to understand this stuff, not only so you can use it, but so you can pass it on to your students and the other students that you work with through tutoring or whatever else. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you are not only a fluent speaker, but a fluent writer in English, and that will help you a lot in your application process. The next thing is to not underestimate the power of your personal statement. For most schools, probably all schools, the main thing they're looking at is your writing sample, and that will weigh the heaviest out of anything else in your application, more than the letters of recommendation, more than your transcripts or whatever else. It's your writing sample. You want your writing sample to be amazing. But if you have an amazing writing sample and your personal statement is really sloppy and uninteresting and unhelpful, it's going to count against you, and it might make your chances of getting into a program a lot harder. So my advice, and I've actually read this on some websites for MFA programs, you should make your personal statement basically part of your writing sample. I mean, they're going to be separate documents, obviously, but polish and workshop and revise your personal statement just like you would your writing sample, because you want it to be really clean. You don't want any grammar mistakes or things like that, but you also just want it to be engaging. You want it to be well crafted. Think about the organization and the outline of it all. Think about what you're trying to say and how you're saying it, and just be very intentional about every part of the personal statement. Now, there's two kind of related mistakes that I've seen, so I'll just kind of cover them both at the same time. Don't go into applications blind. Do your research. Research. Know the programs the best that you can. Know why they interest you, why you want to apply there. And try to make sure that you're a good fit too, because most MFA programs are going to be pretty open to a lot of mainstream traditional literary writing, as well as some experimental kind of stuff. Like most MFA programs will be pretty good with that. But most MFA programs are not going to be a great place for you to write and workshop your epic space opera. There might be some programs focused on genre writing or that are open to genre writing, but make sure that you know what kind of writing these programs are looking for and make sure that yours is somewhat of a good match. It might be hard to really know that for sure, but just make sure that you are writing the correct genre for the program at the very least. I recently workshopped with someone who had a good start to their story that they were going to use for their writing sample, but it just wasn't really enough material yet. It didn't have the layers and the nuance that literary writing needs. It just kind of sounded like a soap opera. It was just kind of like girl loves boy, boy loves girl, but they can't be with each other because of blah, blah, blah. And that alone is not going to interest any MFA programs because they're interested in metaphors and themes and what you can use your writing to say about broader topics, broader human issues. They want artists who can bring art to their writing, make art with words, not just soap operas. So yeah, the last thing you want to do is have all of this cool writing that you're doing and then just send it to completely the wrong place and have them be like, what is this? Because it's not their thing. So do your best to at least make sure that you're writing the correct genre. If you're a fantasy writer, a romance writer, sci-fi writer, whatever, I think there are programs for you out there, but make sure that they want that kind of stuff. If not, stick to the literary, maybe the experimental, and yeah. The last thing, I don't know if this is so much a mistake or just kind of a little warning, but don't apply to MFA programs without having someone workshop with you on your writing sample and your personal statement and all that kind of stuff. Get another set of eyes on it, maybe 2 or 3 other pairs of eyes on it. You want as much help as you can get with your material. Show it to a writing mentor, show it to your writing group, show it to a writing professor that you trust. But if you don't have anybody, again, I'm here. You can workshop with me through Fiverr. So again, the link is down below. But yeah, you just want to make sure that you're not making mistakes that will be obvious to other people, but they're not obvious to you. That's how writing works. It's kind of weird. Like, you're the writer, you know what you're doing, but other people somehow can see your mistakes better than you can. That's how it is for me. You just want some help to catch any errors or whatever. And I've just noticed showing your writing to other writers just always makes your writing better. So just be sure to do that. If I can help with that, great, no pressure, but the offer is there. So those are just a few of the mistakes that I've seen. It's a big deal to apply these programs. I think I spent like $1,000 on application fees. It's a big process. So you want to make sure you're doing it right. You don't want to make mistakes that are very avoidable. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. I'd love to answer them if I can and work with you on your stuff if I can. And good luck with your applications.